Hello, 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 and welcome to Manadad, the channel where magic is so fun even your dad can enjoy it. My daughter is watching number blocks right there. I am using the microphone that is too sensitive, so you can probably hear it. Hopefully not distracting compared to my voice, but I had another microphone I tried out. It was too insensitive. You could barely hear my voice, so I will hopefully get that fixed one day, but right now we're just going to do a quick draft for Ikoria, playing against the bots. I've mostly been playing against drafting with humans. This time I'm just going to draft against the bots because I could get stopped at any moment by my wife or daughter and have to go and have to either abandon this video or just come back to it another time. So, okay, here we go. We've got Whirlwind of Thought, which is a fun build around. It can be confused with the one where you dump your hand at the end of turn, which I think is borderline unplayable in the limited format here, but this one is totally playable. 3-color decks are very possible. Obviously, when you cast a non-creature spell, draw a card. That's a powerful effect. You are taking off turn 4 or later, so you want to kind of go for the blue-red spells build, although I suppose there's probably some white-red build. Obviously, also can work with the cycling deck, although it's a bit at cross purposes. The best deck is the cycling deck, and we have one of the best payoffs for it, which is Reptilian Reflection right here. And I think that's my top pick at the moment. It's my suspicion that the bots are leaving the cycling deck open, so, if the cycling deck is open and you're drafting against bots and it's the best deck in the format, why wouldn't you play it? You're going to be up against other people in the queue. You're only up against other people who draft against bots, so you're going to be up against the cycling deck quite a bit. So you either need to draft it or prepare to play it. And I think we're just going to draft it. We're not going to fight it for right now. We'll see what the bots give us for the next couple picks. Okay, so we've got Unpredictable Cyclone, which is another fun build around. I suspicion there is a way, especially in the human drafts where people are passing a lot of the ultimatums, to build a deck around this where you cycle off a sorcery and hit an ultimatum, which is pretty fun and crazy and kind of wacky. It probably doesn't really hit all that often, but we're in red cycling in pick 2. I see no reason to move out of that. We got a Dran Stinger. So 1-mana cycler. If you're in the cycling deck, you can even take off-color 1-mana cyclers because they're that powerful. Okay, and here we've got another cycling payoff in Savai Thundermane. It's not as good as Reptilian Reflection or Zenith Flare. Probably not even as good as a bunch of Dran Stingers, but it is decent, and especially in the mirror match, we can use it to kill a bunch of our opponent's Dran Stingers and Dran Healers, so I'm going to pick that and keep going. Alright, Flourishing Fox, another payoff, also cycles for 1. Just, the bots are hooking us up here with the cycling deck, so I'm not going to fight it. Other things in the pack that are interesting, Lead the Stampede. I've seen, if you're a heavy creature deck, I've seen this hit pretty big. I've had somebody draw 5 creatures against me. I think my max I've ever gotten with it is 3 creatures. This is all just the uncommons, so the bots are taking commons, which is interesting. Got the Avian Oddity here. I don't see this played that often. I think, Blue-White Flyers deck, if you can get that human that makes flyers more expensive to hit, this is pretty good, because you can either make something else flying, or you can, just a 2/4 flying for 4 is decent stats and limited, and also cycles, so... otherwise, if the Fox wasn't here, we'd probably just snap this Dranith Healer. Crustacean, this can actually shut down some of the smaller decks. I don't think people are picking this as highly as they should. The big butt, the 6, is really hard for this people to deal with, even with like a Rock Slide in red or something. We got a Night Squad Commando, an Unlikely Aid. So Black-White Humans deck could potentially be open. Fertilid is your fixing and ramp. Fully Grown. I don't see this played that often. The Trample deck is rarely viable. But if it was, you would, I guess, go fully grown or Pyroceratops if we had opened like a Quartzwood Crasher or something early on, maybe. Pyroceratops, in my opinion, is just too slow at 4 mana. You have to wait to hold back your non-creature spells and start buffing it like on turn 5 or something. It's just not good. The Gremlin can be good in the blue-red spells deck, or just, if you get a bunch of Dran Stingers and a bunch of Gremlins, you can kind of build a little pinger deck and just ping people down. There are a lot of games that tend to end in board stalls, and we got another Reptilian Reflection. Well, this deck is just becoming ridiculous. And let's see. So we got a 1-mana cycler here. I don't see anything else. I don't see a reason to move out of cycling. So we'll just keep going with that. Maybe that duel would have been in consideration if we didn't have anything there. Okay, so now we got our first pack without a cycling card. We could get on the Whisper Squad train early. I wonder, because the bots have never been programmed very well with these like catch-em-all type cards. Like, if you remember Merfolk Secret Keepers or things that get better in multiples, 7 Dwarves, the bots tend to not pick those very highly. And this is, I haven't drafted enough against bots to know, but I suspect that would be the case. In terms of what might be playable in our deck, this is a black-red sacrifice card. This is a black-red sacrifice. That's a decent deck, and it's got good reach against the mutate decks. Green seems to be pretty open here. We got a lot of green cards. For whatever reason, the bots haven't taken green. I guess we could just snag a Lead the Stampede and protect green. There's also the Blade Banish, which is, if we're looking at red-white at the moment, is playable. It's a bit slow. So I'll take the Blade Banish. Here's superior removal with Divine Arrow there. We've also got the Mutual Destruction Tentative Connection. So the black-red sack deck, I think maybe the bots aren't really onto that. Perimeter Sergeant is also, pretty late here if you wanted to move into humans. But, and then our other option here is Spell Eater Wolverine. So we've already got 2 Reptilian Reflections at the 3 spot. I tend to like the Prickly Marmoset also at the 3 spot for this deck. the red 3-drops in common and uncommon are pretty stacked here. So I think I'm just going to take removal. I don't think you really usually have to worry about picking up the 3-drops for the cycling deck. So I'm just going to leave that. And then we've got a Vantasaur here, the 1-mana cycler. Coordinated Charge is a better card probably, but 1-mana cycling is just that much better than 2-mana cycling. I'm going to take it here. Okay, so we might end up in blue, so we could take one of these. They're just defensive, stall the board type cards. But that great Day Squad Marshal is a bit slow. When you're in the humans deck, you kind of want to be hitting the ground harder before 4. I mean, it's not a bad body. Two bodies, 4 power and toughness across 2 bodies is not bad. Lurking Deadeye is kind of removal. I might take this because if we somehow did end up moving into red-black, that's, I think, the card we'd want out of that pack. But seems unlikely. I think we're just going to just take Wilt here. It cycles. We don't want to run it, but we can. And sometimes you can go like red, white, green with the cycling deck. There's enough, green stuff that pays off. Or also splash black into the cycling deck. So the cycling deck is just very powerful. We'll do green for splash. Okay, well, Fertilids. We got a bunch of Fertilids if we want to try to splash into something. Solid Footing. I'm going to take that out. The Potato Tiger, again, it's very slow, especially for the humans deck. It can be very powerful when it comes down against you. Flyers are pretty powerful in this format. There aren't too many of them, and so people don't run a lot of flyer hate or things. They're harder to deal with, but the Vigilance deck, if it just happens to fall in your lap, is so powerful, and that card is really only for that, so... Alright, so we've got the Ozolith. I've been trapped by this card a number of times. It does wheel around in human drafts, and I think that is correct. It's just too hard and limited, even if you get pick one, pack one, which I've gotten to build around it. I mean, you do draft around it, and you get stuff with counters, but if you don't get it, or if you don't get it on turn 1, It can be just a dead card in your hand. I love the card. I think, throw it in commander decks or things, but for limited, it's just a bit of a trap. So I love Lord Drakus here. Get back a spell. It's kind of on color. We also just have a 1 mana cycler here. We have a cycling crystal for splash. And we have the sandworm for the green, but I think you just take the Lord Drakus. Probably won't play it, but you never know. Okay, so I've been seeing more people playing this lately. Will of the All Hunter. It is a more expensive cycling card, but it can be nice for a blowout. You also got some efficient removal here with Pacifism, Divine Arrow, Heartless Act. It's also Shredded Sails. If we had gotten Stormwild Caprador, I would be snapping this up because that combos so well with the Caprador. You can just, the turn after you drop Caprador, you can zap it with this and then be hitting for 5 in the air. So it's just very hard to protect against. It's my sense the bots in other drafts at least have taken dual lands pretty highly. I think we're almost definitely red-white. I'm just going to, rather than grab one of these 2 mana cyclers, one of which will probably at least wheel, I'm just going to grab the dual just to... I may not get another shot. So here's what I'm talking about, the Marmoset. That would give us another threat. Other thing I see here is the coordinated charge. But I think let's get another threat with Marmoset. We'll have a really reliable third turn here. So the only cycler here is Hampering Snare. Not terribly excited about that, but I think that's our pick. Back for More is obviously very strong in the green-black deck. And then Charge of the Forever Beast in that deck as well, although it's a bit of a tension between holding like the big cyclers in your hand for this card if you have it in your deck and just dumping them in the yard so that when you draw into Back for More you can hit with that. I think Back for More, you'd rather cycle and Back for More than hold this in your hand. I've had this be a dead card in my hand before, so it's been pretty bad. Capture Sphere, it's just very expensive removal here. I think I'm going to take the cycler because I do worry about not getting enough 1 mana cyclers. And here's between Starling Development and Frostvale Ambush. This is just a bit more playable. Maybe wheel the ambush, hopefully. So Wingspan Mentor is a great card in blue. I could take the wilds, although in the cycling deck, you kind of want to have untapped lands. I'm thinking just snack this Wingspan Mentor. We already have a lot of threats at 3, so maybe put that in the sideboard for now. We have another cycler that I don't necessarily want to play. We also have Gust of Wind, which is a great tempo card, especially in blue-white flyers. I guess I'll give the edge to the uncommon, build up my vault. Here's another 2 mana cycler we're not that interested in. We could protect the Humans Go Wide deck. Let's see, we have 1 human so far. We already have a Wilt. I'm going to just protect the Humans Go Wide Perimeter Sergeant. It's not the best payoff. The other better payoffs are the enchantments, the Bastion of whatever, the blue and the white and the black one. And again, so cycling, I wonder if one of the bots got into cycling somehow, or we just have gotten not great packs here. Okay, we're wheeled around. What are we protecting? So green has seemed to be open. I guess our best green card here is just an Excavation Mole, so we'll grab that just in case. Hampering Snare cycles, so let's pick it up. Okay, Bushmeat Poacher, let's just protect the Blackguard Sacrifice deck. Doesn't really matter. Fumes does cycle, so we'll just take it. Humans go wide. The Night Squad Commando. Blister Split. Gremlin. So let's think about it. If we don't get any good cycling here in this next pack, well, looks like we're going to get something. we're pretty all in on cycling at the moment. I would have liked a few more playables. So the Moloch is a good top end for the cycling deck. Lets you bring something back. So it's a 2-for-1. Go for blood. I'm going to take that over the rock slide here. Obviously not as good a removal, but okay, Boon of the Wishgiver is great. That makes us want to play a little bit more blue. Ominous Sea is another payoff. Let's just see. Yeah, I don't think... So the blue cycling now is looking better. So I'll have to figure out the best balance for the deck. I think we'll pick up... I do like Raking Claws quite a bit. I think we'll pick up the dual land here. It's so hard to know what the bots are going to take. We got a Dranth Healer, perfect. Give me all the 1-mana cyclers. Convolute is borderline playable because you can hold it up. You use it to stop your opponent's Zenith Flare in the mirror match. Escape Protocol. So this is a really specific card. I had somebody kind of draft around it with like a Frostlinks deck. That's basically the only time I saw it played and played well. If it cycled itself, then it might have some uses outside of this, like the very specific build around for it. Otherwise, I'm not seeing a ton of stuff here that we're looking to play, so maybe I'll just grab it. But I don't see a reason to play it. We don't have any creatures with enter the battlefield effects, I think, except for Moloch. So blinking other creatures doesn't really seem to be what our deck wants to do. Again, Checkpoint Officer, you can play it in the cycling deck. You're holding up mana a lot. I don't want to play it. We'll see if I have to play it. Just build the vault, the uncommon. Spontaneous Flight. This is a lame-o combat trick. We're only at 22 cards in the deck. I'm just going to grab it. Okay, here's another cycler. We're not happy to play it, but we will play it. Pyroceratops, we're not happy to play, but we could play that. And Adventurous Impulse. And the Plains. So, let's build this deck. Now, the cycling deck, you don't want that many lands in it. Ideally, like 14 lands. So what's our balance? We've got actually fairly balanced. We're a little bit lower on white. We've got 6 white, 9 blue, 8 red. So that puts us at 14 lands. Can we find 5 more cards we would want to play? We've got a couple of these off-color cyclers. None of them are 1 mana. So let's go Wilt, Barrier Breach. Suffocating Fumes. And we're still down 2 cards, so we could put a Checkpoint Officer in, and I guess we could try Escape Protocol just for blinking the Moloch, though, or having blockers. It doesn't seem great. I wonder, we didn't see any of the white cycling payoff with the 2/3 that taps when you cycle. I think Wingspan Mentor is maybe going to just be a threat. We could, in the late game, make a Moloch or a Vantasaur flying. and we can start pumping something up. So I think we are pretty thick on the 3 spot, although a lot of these we're just going to cycle. Let's give this a try. It's a rainbow deck. Moving slowly, moving slowly. Okay, so this hand is not great. On 2, and we'd rather be cycling Hampering Snare. We could get down Checkpoint Officer. We can't even mutate the Lord Rakis. We can't get Reptilian Reflection on 3. I think I'm going to take a risk. I mean, we do have 3 lands, which is nice, but I'm going to risk a mulligan. Try to get, there we go. So, I'm going to keep this. I can put the mountain to the bottom. And we can cycle on, well, I guess we can't cycle on turn 1 because we're going to play tap, but we can cycle on turn 2. Hopefully cycle into a threat. Or draw into a threat. There we go. It's a mirror match so far. Okay, what do they got? It's a huge advantage. If they're the cycling deck, it's a huge advantage, and they are red-white. Big advantage for them to go first. So, we could try and fake them out. I think we just want to get down the Dran Stinger. We'll draw their removal out, or we'll have a chance to trade here. One of our threats, our main threats are like the Reptilian Reflection and the Marmoset, so those are ones that we kind of want to hold back our So we got the Reptilian Reflection on 3. Unfortunately, we don't have that 3rd land. Might have been a mistake to bottom that. Let's try and find it. Well, we didn't cycle into a 1-mana cycler or anything great, so that was a tough turn. We're going to probably lose this match. That turn was a real crux there. We needed to get ahead of opponent now. It's unlikely they can dump 3 spells in the yard for the Spell Eater Wolverine, so we'll probably block and see if they can do it. They're not dropping a land. But they maybe got there better with the 1-mana cyclers than we did. So yeah, so they're not going to risk their Wolverine. We'll just take the 2. That means next turn they're not likely to have the... Oh, they have an Evolving Wilds. They're going to unlock a 3rd color here. They are. Okay. And another Wolverine. Okay, Hampering Snare. Well, we gotta just cycle. The Wilt is useless. Let's try and hit that land. And nothing we can do here. See, a 1-mana cycler would have let us hold open Divine Arrow. Take care of one of these Wolverines. We're definitely on the back foot here. This Blade Banish is pretty useless against them. Okay, so they got 1 spell in the yard. Can they get another 2 here? They think they can. I'm just going to try. This might be a free kill for them, but we're so far behind. I'm going to hope we can trade here. Yeah, okay, another one-mana cycler. They have one more. They do, okay. So they at least had to blow their coordinated charge on there. They had the mana for it now. It's not my favorite trade I've ever had to make in the world. So we can drop Checkpoint Officer and hold up Divine Arrow, Hampering Snare. I would have loved to get down the Reflection, but without one-mana cyclers to activate it, I think we're in deep doo-doo here. We can take out one Wolverine this turn. Next turn we can tap down the other one. We're still at 9 life. They're at 22 and only going up with that Dranatiller still in play. So it is, again, just looking terrible. Let's just zap it now. What do you got? We'll take 8, go down to 1. This is got to get very close here. A Crystalline Giant. Okay, that might have been the threat that, and a Facet Reader. Okay, they're just way too wide on us. I'll play a land and some spells just to build up my quests here, but we're pretty done for, right? So tap down the Wolverine. We can't activate the Reflection. If I'd done the Hamperings, if I'd actually cast the Hampering Snare, we'd still be dead. Yeah. So let's just. I guess I could cast it and get another quest point. Slow. Come on. Okay, let's take a look here at the deck. I think maybe we could go up another land. We do want to hit that Flourishing Fox on 1, so let's just add a Plains in and take out one of these terrible 2-mana cyclers. Okay. So our one threat is in a color we don't have. Again, this is a terrible hand. We do have a Divine Arrow to protect ourselves, and we can cycle hopefully into that blue land. So I'm going to keep it this time. The Auto Shuffler just doesn't like me today. Opponent, thinking about playing. Opponent, are they gonna mulligan again? Maybe the Auto Shuffler likes them less. They're down to 6 cards and they're thinking hard about this mulligan. Okay, so they're in green. So 9 times out of 10, I think that's a mutate deck. You do see the green-black deck sometimes. Okay, looks like they're color stuck here. We are as well, so let's pass the turn. since we can't make the land drop if we got the island this turn, we're going to wait. Okay, so it is green-black, so that'll be fun. And they have a lead the Stampede, so they're likely to get a creature they can play next turn. And there will be a threat on the board. We, however, will have the threat of Reptilian Reflection on the board. Or we'll have the threat of Ominous Seas on the board. It's a good question of what to do. We don't have any 1-mana cyclers, so holding back Reptilian Reflection till turn 4 so you can activate it next turn. Well, they got 4 cards, including a Busted Mythic, which just keeps coming back and back and back. So this is going to be a race here. This game is going to be a real race. They've got the Symbiote, which hopefully we can take care of. We did not get blue once again. So I guess that our Divine Arrow can deal with the Great. They'll probably play the Symbiote, drop the Great Horn on it, get their mana they need to cast the 6/6. Divine Arrow is not going to deal with that, unfortunately. So let's cycle now. We're probably just holding up Divine Arrow, but I did want to get another shot at the island. Putting a flying counter on the 5/4 is not a terrible play either. Oh, they're blocking. Okay, do they have a trick? They're going to make it indestructible? Yeah, okay, so Divine Arrow wouldn't have helped. I guess technically we should have dropped the land after we cycled and we didn't get there, but... that is painful. Maybe they'll get greedy, though, and attack here, so... if not, we're going to cycle another 2-mana cycler. Hope to draw into our Blade Banish to just get rid of this giant mutate pile they're going to build. Oof. Okay, yeah. Here comes 6 damage. Oh, okay, they didn't mutate it. I guess they needed 1 more mana to mutate it, no? No? Huh. They're just trying to diversify their threats. Well, here, I think we'll save the Divine Arrow to try and kill one of these other creatures, so I'm going to pass, cycle. Finally got our blue mana. It's kind of late to get on the Ominous Seas train. Can I get down Ominous Seas and Lord Drakus? I don't think I can. Can't do Ominous Seas and Wingspan Mentor. Can do Ominous Seas and hold up Divine Arrow and Wilt, or I guess a Startling Development. Or is this better just saving as a to cycle at this point? Alright, well, it's our only threat. I'm going to get it down. Pass the turn. I'm going to have to take a big hit from this Brokos. I really need to draw into that Blade Banish. I'm going to cycle Startling Development, and we're going to possibly Divine Arrow the Symbiote. Yeah, if they do that, which they are. Oh wait, did that just put it out of range? We got +1. Oh no. Alright. Go for blood. That's not going to help us. Cycle the 2. So now I have to just race to get that blade vanish. The sequencing this game has been very bad. Opponent kept a slow hand, but they were able to deal with our 1 threat, which could have been coming in for 5 damage a turn here. Let's just keep cycling. We can throw down some chump blockers. Unfortunately, the 6/6 has trample. Okay, so the Rooting Moloch plus Divine Arrow. Maybe we want Lord Drakus plus Divine Arrow. Stop the Brokos. Brokos, of course, they can just recast from their graveyard, so is that... All that is a tempo play. But I guess tempo will help us with Ominous Seas on the board. This is a very tough match here. If we can pull this out, we will be in good shape. Okay. It's fine if you want to give that Death Touch. I've been holding back that Tiger the whole game. Wonder what humans they're playing to make flying. If you're in the Mutate deck, the Tiger is really not that great. Maybe they thought they'd kind of have a Blue-White Flyers theme. Here they come.
Suggestions are provided in real time to help you write clear and mistake-free sentences. Download today at Grammarly.com.
If they have a trick, they blow us out, but that was true no matter what. Oh, miscalculated on the trample. Okay. Well, maybe there was no way out of that. Well, that was 2 bad miscalculations, and I'm off to a terrible start here. If I do air this, you'll know I'm legit. Let's see. Is there some other build we want to build? Maybe make use of these green cards, or should we just add in more white threats on the ground? Black. We haven't had particularly good draws. There's number blocks. Alright, it's going to feel really bad to scrub out here. So, let's see. Maybe we'll be up against a terrible deck that's also 0-2. Well, I'm coming off a 7 win in the Premier. Of course, I had a Luris deck. But that deck actually had to struggle quite a bit to win the 7. I had some long, very closely fought battles. And I thought, oh, I'll just get the cycling deck here, get some easy wins. Really didn't come together. I wonder if high picking those lands was a mistake. If I watch this back, let's see what I missed on the other turns. Alright, well, we could keep this. We just cycle the development on turn 1. Drained Healer is not the biggest threat, but if we're up against a similar opponent, Blade Banish we have in hand. This is good. Opponent thinking a lot. Next turn, we'll put Brandon Healer on the board. First, we're going to cycle this. Opponent's playing red, so I think they're probably the cycling deck. Oops, okay. I don't know what they meant to do. Well, we could hide our red for now. On the Drained Healer, maybe they meant to play something on 1. Or they meant to play a different color out of their hand. They had a Flourishing Fox or something. Okay, put down a Drained Stinger. Suffocating Fumes. Too bad that I think we're deck. We want to hold back our. Let's see. I think we get a free attack here. I doubt they're going to block with the Drained Stinger. Probably think we have a combat trick. Nope. Nope. Yeah, they weren't willing to make that trade. Just put this down in low value. It blocks the 2/2. And hope to get a real genuine threat here. No, we just keep drawing lands now. The Shuffler. So, what would we hope to draw? If we cycle Suffocating Fumes, I guess we would hope to draw the Drained Stinger. We have all the lands colors in hand, so it doesn't really matter which ones we tap. Okay, Ominous Seas. That's cool. I'll take that. I'll start to put a clock on this game. Your move, opponent. Now, they may have held up their... They didn't cycle anything. That's interesting. They may have held up mana thinking they were going to be able to... Okay, I'd really love to cycle the Hampering Snare, but I think I just Blade Banish, get in for 2 with the Lord Rakis. We're going on the attack here. Oh, I want to say thanks. It's weird they've changed it so you can't. So I just say nice. Oh, I'll give them a nice when they make a nice play. I find a lot of this chit chat, even though it's like 1 word or 2 words, to be kind of distracting. But I don't mute the opponents. In Eldraine, I found when they said, oops, okay, they didn't hold back that Rock Slide. They're just going... They're worried about me pulling the Blade Banish out of the graveyard, maybe. Okay, Convolute could be good here to hold up. I'm just going to pass the turn. I don't think trading the Drained Healer for the Drained Stinger is great at this point. Okay, Sanctuary Smasher. I'm going to convolute that. Perfect. and see if they want to attack. Say thanks. And let's just cycle the hampering snare, get us another turn closer. Draw another threat, maybe. Another cycler. Okay, another Drana Stinger. So now the question is, they probably will make this trade. I kind of just want to cycle into another threat. Let's see. See, Auto Tapper should have tapped the blue there, right? Because I had that in my hand at the very least, even if it's not taking into account what I have in my deck. Divine Arrow. I think I would just save that, so let's just make the trade. May have been better off getting my Drana Stinger on board. Okay, so the Moloch, that's going to let them bring something back. It's okay. Oh, it's a Sanctuary Smasher. That's not okay. Well, let's get down the Savai Thundermane. We're very close to having an 8-8 out here. For all they know, the 8-8 could come next turn, so let's pass. If they've got the white instant that kills enchantments, they're really slow rolling it on me. Attacking with the Moloch. Just going to kill it with the arrow. I really just plan on stopping the Smasher with the 8-8. But we'll see. So if we cycle Go for Blood, we've got an 8-8. And two cyclers, the Thundermane. So we're just going to wait. Play this slow. They have Divine Arrow, Frill Scare Mentor. Okay. That is a problem. Because they're going to give a Menace to Sanctuary Smasher. That means we're probably going to lose our Thundermane. There's not much I can do about that. They're going to lose the Mentor, though, and the Smasher if they attack. And they did. So let's cycle this. Is there any world where we can hampering snare Ooh, Blade Banish. Oosh. Okay. And they did it before damage. Well, I'm just going to cycle and hit their Smasher and gain 2 life at least. Starting building back up the Ominous Seas. Where's my blade vanish? I need it. Okay, Moloch. What can that get me back? Startling development. Get me back hampering snare. That still doesn't stop a 6/4 menace. I guess go for blood is my one play. I just trade the Moloch for the Smasher and oh, why did it do that? Auto tapper. Probably should have held that land back, like I maybe had a combat trick. Yeah, opponent's like, why did he do that? I didn't try to do it. Auto tapper. Wow. So they held back. That's so weird. They got some trick to kill the Moloch and blow me out. I guess that's how it is. I already saved a damage. They wanted to save the 4 damage themselves. So this is pretty grinding for a cycling deck battle. I got 17 versus 24 cards. I've seen a lot more of my deck weaponize the monsters. What a top deck for them. Okay, well, here's a threat. Get that out on board. Pass the turn. Unfortunately, don't have a lot of... Oh, okay, so with Weaponize, they can kill the Marmoset with these two guys. They're going to ask themselves whether it's worth doing now. I've held 1 card back in hand, so I could have a pump spell. They may as well wait till my turn, I think. Just give me another draw to pump spell, but... Okay, so let's make them use their Weaponize on the Marmoset if they want to. If they saw the Reptilian Reflection, they might save it for that. Yeah, if they want to spend a card and 4 mana to kill that, then so be it. We've got the Ominous Seas building up here. We've got a Reptilian Reflection we can turn on and hit with. Another time. I don't think at this point there's a point in playing the land, so we'll just pass. Okay, we've got another threat. The opponent has a threat on the board, and it's one that's going to gain them life. So, question is, I think this fox is just better cycling. That's going to let me make an 8/8. So let's just cycle the fox here. Turn on the reflection. They're probably not going to trade the Splendor Mare. But you never know. I've got an 8/8 blocker that can come out at instant speed now.
You watch a number block? Yeah. Dad's over there.
Dad's over there.
Number blocks? Still playing? And let's hope that last card in their hand is not a Blade Banish. Yeah, they're looking at the Omniseas going, Winota. Oh.
Number block.
Okay, so that's going to let them pull something out of their deck, even if they do Suicide in with the Splendor Mare. Let's see if they want to do that. Well, opponent has gotten very wide in like one turn.
That's number 1, yeah.
If this game goes long, I think they win because I'm so low. So they're representing
Do you want a snack soon, kiddo?
how many damage?
Keep watching number blocks, okay?
They've lost their only non-human, so they can't be pulling out more. If they double blocked here, it'd be 5, and then sack the Day Squad Marshal 7. I think I have an attack, and I think because I'm up on life, I'm going to do it. They always have to worry about me turning on the reflection. They can chump with their 1/1. But that's another creature they can't weaponize, so... What do I have left in my deck? Need to get one of those plugins. Oh, they had Swallow Whole. Don't see that often. That hurts. They're not going to risk attacking with Winota probably because I could turn on the reflection. Alright, I think... Once again, we're just going to try to race. It's possibly a losing race with 8 damage on the board, but... the Phantasaur is actually probably worth casting. If they block here, that means they don't have much use anymore for Winota. They did not. Okay. Well, now we have good blocks on them, and we have a Vigilance creature that can be coming in. It's going to be hard to kill. Maybe they have a Rumbling Rock Slide that they've been holding back. Another reason not to cycle is because we're down to 9 cards here. Okay, so... So, opponent's representing a combat trick. I think... and they're saying oops, so... I think that's a psych. I'm just going to let it through. Maybe they had the double strike. Maybe they were hoping to throw the Day Squad Marshal at the Vantasaur. Okay, Wingspan Mentor, that's a nice top deck here. Would have liked to be able to make the Reptilian Reflection flying. But this puts the opponent on a 3-turn clock here with the Venusaur, and I can hold it back for blockers. So even if they're attacking me for 8 every turn, yeah. And if they had the Divine Arrow, that doesn't help them out because they can't block. Wild Bonder. Go for blood, okay. So they're gonna just spend a bunch of cards here to kill the Venusaur because it is a threat before I can start pumping the toughness even more. Question is what I can top deck. Boon of the Wishgiver. That is interesting. So I could draw most of the rest of my deck and hope to be able to deal enough damage in a few turns. I think that's better than turning on the reflection, sacrificing it to kill one of these guys. It's a risky move. I'm going to put a real clock on how many cards are left in my deck. And oh, but it did pump the Ominous Seas. Okay. So now I think I hold this back as a combat trick. Don't think I want to cycle with just 3 cards left. So I'm just going to try to win with the 8/8. It might be very slow. Maybe can get them to double block on it. There's another Reptilian Reflection. Okay, well, that's interesting. Let's see what they do. Or if they have any tricks. I need to get rid of at least one blocker here. They have to block it. So are they going to try for the double block? Question is, do I have lethal there? They could have blocked, and taken 5, 6. I think I missed lethal. Dang it. So I should have been willing to more aggressively cycle. Because now I can't use this as a cycling card. I'm down to 2 cards in deck. Okay, they're going to kill the Mentor. I think I missed lethal. I think I deserve to lose this. And they got a checkpoint officer. That's gonna stall the game out just enough. What do I draw? My checkpoint officer. Okay, so if I cycle this, I draw 1 card. So I guess that's my play. Let's see if this is enough. I don't think it is now, with the Wingspan Mentor gone. What is my last card in deck? It is a Wilt, so useless. Next. Let's all attack. Okay. So they put the 1/2 in front of the 8/8. They take 6 trample damage. I think this does it, unless they've got a surprise. Just pulled it out by the skin of our teeth. Opponent's going to play it out. They actually, if they sack both their guys and throw them at the unblocked reflection, they'll take 5 and they will win this game. Do they see that line? I think they do. I think they do. That Wingspan Mentor was the difference. Opponent very lucky to have the deal 3 damage. Wow. And let's kill ourselves in style. Well, that is how you lose, and the prize for losing is a pack and 50 gems, so that's the booby prize. Thanks for watching. Bye.